Hey guys, a quick touch point on the Hill at One North. Just usual disclaimer, whatever I share just based on my own point of view and research. Make sure you do your due diligence before you proceed with anything. Anyway, this is the Hill at One North. Let's take a look at how it performed. 43 units at launch. This was about 1 week back. 1/3 of it was sold. Average price 2595 PSF. That's almost 2600 PSF for RCR. Combination of all these different units. Let's look at the profile of the buyers. 86% are Singaporeans. The rest are permanent residents and foreigners. I'm surprised to see foreigner again. Previously there was a foreigner. I think one sole foreigner at Blossoms by the Park, if I remember correctly. But anyway, I think they already started building, so expected to obtain TOP in December 2023, which is not very long later. It's only about 3.5 years. But if you think about it, they got this land quite a long while back. Later we'll look at the exact date, but I remember it was 2021. That means how long did it take? They take almost 1.5 years to slowly take their own sweet time to launch. Whereas Blossom by the Park launched almost, I think, about how long? I think almost 1 year before, right? Later we will have a little more look at this kind of small little details. So, because this is quite a relatively small development, I wouldn't say small, but it's quite a small development. The land size isn't as big as well. Developers should have more than enough time to self-finish the rest, because I think total they cleared 43 units. They only got less than 100 units, 99 units. They can take their own sweet time. Maybe the market will be in their favor. It really depends on the developers' strategy. But I pretty much kind of know this developers' strategy. So usually you kind of know what the developers are thinking if you really see enough of all this data and everything. Anyway, this was supposedly much lower than that of Blossoms by the Park. Previously, they were sold at 70%, more than 70%. Now it's already a way higher percentage, because some units already moved between last year and this year, which so is like launch April 2023. The difference is like 1 whole year apart, even though they sold the land at the same time. So, and if you think about it, that means your lease already taken up by how long? Market sentiment definitely is a lot more cautious now. Buyers are taking their own sweet time. Although end of the year you should know what is happening. After that, you still haven't managed to buy. I think really 几个 This one don't say I never warn. Okay, so I shall not mention what is coming at the end of the year. If you know, you know. Okay, if you know, you know. This is the rest of the pictures for the Hill at One North. I think is pretty much quite straightforward. The concept is quite. Supposedly it has to be looks nice. If it doesn't look nice as the concept, I really don't know what the hell is the architect is doing, man. First floor, commercial. Other than that, a nice pickup point, it seems like. Hopefully it's not just all design. The exact land parcel, Blossom by the Park, is just here. Then you got a few others, Rochester, One North Residence, and then let's take a look. So not much supply in the immediate area. The rest of the supply are more on the Holland side, which are quite a lot of the predominantly freehold, and those are CCR. This is RCR, by the way. So not too much of a supply problem. Rental wise also is quite, I would say, quite healthy. Not too big of an issue as long as you are not overly ambitious. Rental yield generally over here is quite high. So it's more of a cater more towards a landlord kind of market over here. This is the basic information about all this: land size, number of units, 100 plus. Only 6 units of 4 bedrooms. Then majority, I would think, cater more towards the landlords . Well, I don't think this is really an area where most Singaporean wants to stay. It's more of a people buy as an investment property. There are different kinds of ways. There is your rental yield investment. There's also your capital gains investment. So it really depends on which route are you gonna take. Later we'll touch a little bit more briefly. So this is like what I mentioned just now already. If you compare for the PSF by Blossom by the Park, same exact day that they will launch the tender, 1 year apart. This one was sold 1 year before, and then so almost more than 150 PSF average higher. I leave it to you to decide whether this is actually a good deal or not. I mean, ultimately, the market has shifted now. The RCR market supposedly has gone up quite a bit. But ultimately, an old lease is still an older lease is still an older lease. There are other projects that were awarded in 2022 already launched and sold like a quite high percentage already, and this guy is just launching over here. So 2021 October, it was awarded the tender. Both of them, including this is Boston's by the Park, and this is the Hill at One North. Both of them are residential with commercial at first story, so you are not necessarily a very niche supplier because around there they are pretty much the same. Then price also about the same. In fact, the Hill at One North managed to get it slightly cheaper, but they are selling it more expensive, so you kind of know that profit margin is a lot higher for the Hill at One North. So you should know what you are getting into. Generally, if developers have a better profit margin, then that leaves you with much lesser space when it comes to your own exit strategy. Average price, you can see all these are units transacted. You can't really see the exact units because of PDPA purposes, but these are quite a few that are transacted above 2006. If you think about it, 2006 that you're entering today, you have to, if you are buying as an investor, if you are going purely for rental yield, you want to hold on for like 20-30 years, that's really up to you. But you are looking for, that's where I don't really understand. You know, there are investors. Ultimately, we are here to invest and make money through property. If you want to go through the slow route ways, basically you are buying for dividend, which is not wrong because there are people who buy stocks for dividend play purely only. Then passive income lah. But if you buy for rental yield, you also need to know about the causes. What are the various causes? There are a lot of causes, especially property tax has went up drastically over the years. So this is definitely going to eat into your gains, especially when it comes to interest as well. Interest is still a question mark because it's bopao. It's likely to drop within the next half year, we are expecting. But next time, 4-5 years down the road, how do you guarantee that your interest is not going to go up again? Because all these are interests have a cycle. And this will definitely all into your gains. Imagine you're just making a net gain of maybe 1,000 plus a month. And you're putting in hundreds and thousands of, and you're not even talking about low hundreds and thousands, you're talking about high hundreds of thousands. How does it even actually justify a good ROI? That's a big question to me. That's why if you really work the math and go down exactly into details, it's not as simple as what most people think it is. So if you bother to sit down, but the problem is that most people don't bother to sit down. If you bother to sit down, then you realize what actually makes or doesn't really make sense. So today, if you get in at 2,600 plus, how much might you get in order to really make a significant gain? Are you gonna exit at 3,000 PSF for a leasehold in RCR over here? Will people want to buy 3,000 PSF from you when they can get, maybe some of them they are here a little bit older, never mind, but quite a lot of chunk of them are freeholds. Don't talk about one Holland V, of course. So it's easy always to enter, but how do you determine your exit plan? That's the thing. A lot of people say, hey, after 3 years, come on, after 3 years, do you even really know that there's a bull market or not? How are you gonna expect that it's gonna rise to your PSF? And if you look at the most profitable developments in recent years, what kind of trends is it? What kind of properties is it trending towards? That are more profitable. Is it really like a location based, or is it more like a price sensitive kind of range? So these are I already zoom in Rochester residents and One North residents because these two are newer, and since you are buying a new one at the Hill at One North, you should be comparing against something that is newer, not too much older. I only look at those that are bought after TDSI. If you're buying like 20 years ago kind of data, then those are not really accurate, unfortunately. You need to know that this is a totally different reality for the past 10 years. There's one guy that's making a huge chunk of profits, but this entry not easy to enter last time. 700k. Other than that, this one is decent. The rest, this one is also decent. This one is also decent. This one is also decent. But the rest in between are definitely not making money for sure, because you still have to factor in now there are a lot of higher taxes, especially by stamp duty, blah blah blah. So there are a lot of causes involved, and all these guys are definitely losing money already. So this is Rochester residents. next one will be one-off residences. If you post TDSR period, you can see quite a lot of them, they are not exactly making net profit money. Even if they do make, what is their real ROI? Will your money be for the price of security? Won't it be generating much better returns in the OA, or even if you look at it, I prefer to look at SA because if you still have money that you can even, if your OA can be flushed into SA, then if your property is not making as much money as the SA can generate for you, then why does it even make sense to go into property? That's my bare bottom line. If I cannot make more than SA, there's no point for me to even get into property, right? Well, these guys not making money for sure, so don't bother looking. So ultimately, you need to know whether are you playing the rental yield game. It's not much, but it's honest work. You are slowly farming out. That's why you're working more like a farmer. Whereas if you are buying the right product, you're buying the right thing, and then you're exiting at the right time, right price, you really know what you're getting into, then you know how to monitor, and then what is the real exit plan other than the typical nonsense pitch that you hear at sales that show flat, these kind of things. You must really know in this current era. Last time our parents' era, 20-30 years ago, whatever they buy, they don't really know, I understand, because there's no data that is accessible to them. But today, with data accessible to you, even if not directly to you, if you don't find the right person to go and access the data from, how to interpret the data correctly, then it is your fault if in today's market with so much data available, you still don't make money. It is entirely your fault. Okay, there's nobody you blame. You cannot say, the market is like this, or the government is implementing all this. It's because you don't bother to educate yourself and put in your due diligence to understand what is really going on. It's easy to buy, but you don't really know what exactly to exit. So if you are going for the fast track, note again, this is highly taxable, because main thing you also got property tax, you also got income tax. Then this is not taxable. Which one will be a better game? Which one will be a much lesser of a hassle to manage? Because this one is like, there's a lot of work, because you gotta manage your tenants, and sometimes you really sway, sometimes it really does happen. Maybe like a 10-20%, you get crazy tenants, then really good luck. This kind of thing nobody can. There is no 100% foolproof way. I mean, we can do our part to filter, qualify, but there's no 100% foolproof way that somebody will really go key siao, because some of the worst criminals are super quiet, very shy personalities, and then they just go batshit crazy someday. You never know. Okay, so that will be all we have for today. If you are looking for the right advice, make sure you PM and see how I can help. That will be all we have for today. See you guys. Bye bye.